Thanks so much to Reolink for sponsoring this video. More on them later. Summer has really arrived here in my garden in Central Portugal. For once, we've had a really pretty mild spring and early summer, which is great for me because then the plants actually had some time to get properly established before the real heat of summer kicks in. We haven't really had any heat waves yet. We've even had quite a bit of rain. So the plants for now are really loving life. They're really thriving. And I'm really grateful that for once we get this kind of weather. This is also the time of year that the sunflowers start blooming, which are my absolute favorite. I planted a whole bunch of different varieties, yellows, red, a whole mix of different colors, and I've actually managed to do a little bit of succession sowing with them as well. So we should have these beautiful flowers for the next few months. Harvesting has also really started. We've had big handfuls of green beans. We started to get some beets in, as well as lots of courgettes. Wat hebben we allemaal? Courgette, boontjes. Dat zijn bieten. Daar kunnen we nou allemaal lekker opeten.
Nee, niet dat lekker, maar. Tantos sobrevivientes, cuántas heridas llevan.
For the most part, herbalism is not really my thing, but with the calendula loving life this spring, I decided to make some infused olive oil, possibly to make into a sauce, just because it would be nice, but not because it has magic properties. I just figured that a nice smelling oil would be nice to have either way. So I gathered and dried lots of calendula flowers and finally got around to putting them into oil. Dat zijn calendula bloemen met olijfolie. En dan gaat die geur van die bloemen in de olie. En dat zijn?
Bonen.
I'm home alone with the kids today because out of school for the summer. It's summer holidays for very many weeks here. Anyway, so yeah, Maarten is doing something that we will, and working with something that we will announce later. It's exciting, but it means that things are changing up and that we have to find a new rhythm, especially with the summer holidays right now. Yeah, so that's that. A couple days ago, we, from the garden, got some beautiful beets. They're that variety with the pink and then the white. They're really good. I'm gonna roast them now and then pickle them because pickled beets are delicious. These have been by far my best performing beet. I'm not sure, I'm gonna keep trying other varieties, but this is always a winner for me somehow. And we still have quite a few growing in the garden as well. So, time to do some pickling. I don't remember how to talk to a camera, but that's what we're gonna do this month. Look at that. Stunning.
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 Heel mooi. Dit gaat zo naar de kip aan.
Alla bieten in. Alla bieten.
Okay, before we continue in the kitchen, I want to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Reolink. It has been a pleasure to work with Reolink over the past few months, and today I want to share a little bit of our experience with the cameras, as well as highlight some of the great deals that they will have for Prime Day next week. What I really appreciate about Reolink is that they make cameras for all sorts of different scenarios, indoors, outdoors, on-grid, off-grid, like us, and they're available in lots of different countries around the world, so there's really something for everyone. For us, the Go PT Ultra has been really convenient because it connects to the wider 4G network, and together with the solar panel makes a great standalone security setup for off-grid properties like ours. And with the push notifications turned on, which you can do really easily in the Reolink app, I get notified whenever someone gets onto our property. Last month we also installed the Argus 4 Pro, which makes great high quality footage of a 180-degree angle with a blind spot free view. I turn the notifications on when we leave for longer periods, and it's really given me a bigger sense of security knowing that if someone were to try and break into our yurt, I'd get a notification and I can turn on the alarm or talk to them and at the very least have some good footage in the case that person was successful. So if you've been thinking of stepping up your security, I highly recommend checking out the Reolink Prime Day. They will have discounts up to 50%, so it's a really great time to snag up a good deal. You can click on the links in my description box or the pinned comment to have a look at these exclusive offers. And now back to the kitchen. So I'm pretty sure that if you want to be a Dutch mom, you are required to do a test to see if you know how to make pancakes. They're such a great pantry meal. I always have big bags of flour, milk and eggs, obviously. So more often than I would like to admit, I make some pancakes for the kids, serve it with some fruits, and that's lunch done. If you're trying to compare it to anything else, it's most similar to a crepe, but the batter is a little bit thicker, as are the pancakes. I serve it with some sugar and some cinnamon, and it's just always a hit. I used to complain to my mom when we would have this when I was a teenager, but I had younger siblings, and now I understand. So sorry, Mom, for complaining so much.
Zo diep aan de koeken. Zo.
Ja, is dat goed?
Meer dikker.
Wel daar.
Je houdt. Iedereen nog. Ai.
Ja, dat kan niet met die stoel. Die staat waar die staat. So I had decided to roast these beets because after showing this same recipe last year, some people said that if you cook them whole, they would keep their color. As you can see, they don't, which I don't actually mind because once they're in the brine, they all become pink, which is just super cute. But as you can see, they clearly don't keep the ring colors as they are when they're fresh. I still think they're a great variety for pickling, just because they do so well for me, and they are also nice to eat raw, which we will do sometime later.
Nou, wat moet meer in? Wat moet meer in?
Zo is het goed.
Nee, zo. Nee. Zo, mijn tong uitsteekt.
So the great thing about doing all those cooking videos last year, it's easy for me to remember which recipes I really liked. So on this day I also made the stuffed zucchini that I shared last year. I will link the recipe for you if you want to have a look. For all the other courgettes that I'm picking right now, I'm testing a few different recipes that I will share with you in the next video. Is een mooie machine hebben.
Welcome. As many of you know, we had problems with our digger for the past 2 years, and the engine was not working, the timing was off, needed to be repaired, waiting. Every time there was a promise of in 2 weeks it will be finished. So all this time people were contacting me to get work done on their place. So there is enough work out there, and we decided to go look for a new digger. Of course, it's a a Chinese copy of a Kubota, but with a Kubota engine in it, because we don't have 50k. But we do have neighbors, and they have trusted us enough to go into business with us. So we have a 50-50 partnership where they financed this thing, and I'm paying it back with jobs. And we do everything together, and it's a great corporation already. And I've done my first job yesterday, and tomorrow is his first job. So we have to transport this thing back to his place so that I don't have to get up so early in the morning again. The ramps are fabricated. They are at Silver's place. So I still have to load it the old school way. This is the easiest way to do it. And the trailer is staying with it. It's been adapted for especially this machine, so that's great. It's very safe, it pulls very well, and so if you need some digging done and you're in the Castelo Branco region, just hit us up, punk rock excavations, and then we'll come and dig your hole or trench or pool or whatever you want. Yes. All right.
The garden twine that I was using was way too thin, even after doubling up. So now, under the weight of the tomatoes that are loving life with this cooler weather, relatively cool for our for our climate, yeah, they're just growing like crazy. So I need to go back and redo it with this thicker twine.
Ik heb deze stenen vloer. Ik heb ook een lange plakken zon.
As you can see, these pumpkins that I planted in mounds of barely composted goat manure that I got from my friend, they're loving life. It has been really cool, so they don't really have any sun damage. They've had a few bits of really heavy rain, and I'm starting to see the first fruit appear on the plants. I think they also love that they're in partial shade. So I think this will be the year that we finally have a good pumpkin harvest. And I'm sure other people would have known, but turns out the trick is to just plant them in straight up manure.
Wacht, kijk hier.
And finally, I'd like to thank Reolink for sponsoring this video. We love a good deal, so if you have been looking at security cameras, now is the time. You can find the link in my description box. For now, that's it, and I'll see you in the next one.